Hello and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Shariann.
Today we're talking about slowing down, which is something we talk about often, but it always bears repeating and talking about because things don't always land the first time you hear them. So this is something that's really big in what we teach in our curriculum. So let's get into it. But before we do, we're going to check in. We're going to do PESH. Shariann, will you go first today?
Okay, so physically, just really grounding here. Physically, 4.2, emotionally, 4.4. Spirit, 4.
Okay. Physically, I am a 4.35, emotionally a 4.45, spirit is a 4.4, and hope is a 4.4, and my word is floopy. I love that word, floopy. So, slowing down. I mean, feeling floopy, I can absolutely resonate with that. And I feel like slowing down is the way to get clear, right? Like, I mean, if I had to define the word floopy, it just means like all over the place, ill-defined, which also goes well with the word being nonsense, and just that need for wholeness, and that I can't get there by amping up.
Yeah. And then what came up for me while you were saying that is my word of progress. It's like movement, right? Forward movement. There's a lot of doing in that, or accomplishing, really. So I'm feeling like I'm accomplishing things. And yet, just as you were saying, it's like, okay, now let me just slow down and reflect. Because all of a sudden it becomes like stacked. Like, then I'll do this and this and this and this. And it's like, then all of a sudden, where's Shariann, right? It's all stacked up. And I've disconnected from me.
Right, right. There's also so much in like what is really slowing down, right? Because I feel like we say it all the time, and then immediately what you think of is like, okay, let's take some deep, slow breaths. Let's move a little bit slower, maybe be a bit more thoughtful. But in practice, it feels almost entirely different, right? Like, even just in the way that we're speaking or the way we want things, the way that we crave things feels like it feels like there's this frenetic energy behind it. And I actually think that the way to slow down is going to be different for everyone, right? Like you and I being strengths-based people who also know that in our top 10 strengths, we both have activator, which is an
Yes.
accelerating energy, which we know especially that in any moment, our activator is like, okay, let's go, let's do something, let's just go. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're running or being actively on the go or even necessarily like doing, like not everything we're doing is quick, but we're like, let's get to an answer, let's go, let's go to the next thing, let's pick it up. And that pressure on, yes, you and I, but also on ourselves as a culture to get something done or figure something out really quick, that one's really hard. If you're forcing yourself to like, why am I not getting this? It's like sometimes you just need time to process. Actually, I just said that to a friend. I just said, in a culture of instant gratification, it's really hard to give anything time.
Instant gratification. Wow. That hit me. And I'm trying it on from two different lenses. One is learning. So I'm trying to learn Italian right now. I should take that out, the trying out. I'm learning Italian now. And I realized that I thought that I was slowing down to learn it. But I want to, because the Italian speaks so quickly, that I'm like, oh, well, I want to mimic that. And I heard you say this, and I really took it in. It's, if you just say each of the syllables and slow it down, you'll get there. And so I've been slowing down with each of the syllables. And I'm like, well, that's easy. And it's like trying to do it a certain way actually makes it harder than slowing down and taking my time. So that's learning. It's like the learning is starting to happen because I'm slowing down, not because I'm pushing forward. And
Right.
that's the difference. It's that push of trying to figure it out, like you said. while I'm not necessarily physically doing anything. It is that mental gyrations and acrobatics that I'm doing to try to get someplace, and that's making it harder.
Right, right. And it's so so new, right? It's not like something you're doing all the time. Like we don't really know other languages. We are not multilingual individuals ourselves. And so it's not just that Italian's a new language, it's that learning a new language is just that. It's learning a new language altogether, a new way to communicate, a new way of a new vocabulary, a new way of just like conceptualizing what the energy and intent is behind certain words. It's so much more, and we're trying to do it. I mean, reading is a little bit easier, we're finding, because, some of the words are similar. And so to read a word, you don't really have to like process and like validate that for yourself. But when you're speaking, you have to process. And so it does take a lot more time. And so this relates also to being on a cancer journey when everything feels new and everything feels uncertain, fresh, and you're like, okay, I need to learn this now so I can figure this out. And because that knowledge and the understanding makes us feel like we're in control. And so then we force it even more because we're like, oh, I want to have control. I want to know what I'm saying. I want to be well educated on it. And then the choices and the freedom with it will come, but it needs to start by knowing what it is. And like, the sooner I know, the better. It's like, yes, but just reading and telling yourself to know it is not going to be the same as taking the time to embody it. And there's not
Yes.
necessarily doing, it's just being.
Yes. Wow. Okay. When you bring it back to the cancer journey, I love the flexible analogy was once I was diagnosed, it was go into action. My being in action was go to the internet, which, your doctors will say, "Yeah, please don't do that because I'm not there with you to kind of tell you, no, that's not true. And this is true. You just take all this information and you're trying to do it as quick as you can because it's like, I got to be in fast action because I've got to make a decision and I got to understand and I need to know more so that I can make a more informed decision." And you could feel that frenetic. You could feel that frenzy, and it feeds each other. And now you're just like, what do I do?
Right.
Where slowing down, you can gather information, but allowing yourself to have the calm and the space to gather. Okay, it's hard when it's an anxiety producing time, but being cognizant and conscious that while everybody's saying hurry up, I can still slow down. In this moment, I can slow down. In this
Yeah.
moment, that's going to allow me to get it more and understand and actually find me in all of this crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the stakes are really high when cancer is in the room, like really high. And so slowing down just doesn't feel within our realm when cancer's in the room. And it feels like the last thing that we have is time, right? To do literally anything. Even now I'm just like trying to slow down and be with that perspective and what that feels like. Like I myself have not had cancer, but like to put myself in the shoes of someone who's like, this is urgent and this is necessary. And I think I say this all the time, but when our coach Leslie Purchase was on, she said, this is urgent. I must slow down. And it really is that way, right? Like it really is that in the fog of that urgency is actually when things get missed. Yeah. Slowing down to be in that place of where people are when cancer is in the room and how guarded they already are in there. The constant worry that's around. There's so much management is what I'm feeling and what I'm resonating with and sensing from that space too. So it's like when I'm constantly trying to manage, what is there to manage? And it feels like everything's out there that can be done. Because also if you are the patient and there is cancer within you, it feels like there is nothing here that you can do. It feels like there is no power here because it feels like your body has already like attacked itself. It is coming for you. It's coming from the inside. And that's when it's really important to know what your inner resources are, or to have someone who can help guide you through that when you feel like you're being betrayed by your body and your being. So
Yeah.
if you have a coach to help guide you and hold that space of just like, I just need to blurt it all out there, and I just like I can't possibly contain it anymore because I'm trying to manage, I'm trying to do, and nothing's working. That line of like nothing's working very much reminds me of just like the experience of being on a cancer journey. Like I'm trying everything and I almost feel that energy ramping up, right? Of like, I need to do. I need to get somewhere, and maybe healing will happen faster. Maybe I will recover. Maybe I'll survive this the faster I can go, because it feels like the longer that it's in me, the more it's eating away at my physicality. That's a whole lot of feeling.
Yeah, you could feel the frenzy, you could feel the anxiety, you can feel the the urgency.
And the hopelessness really is what it feels like it's coming from.
So being in all of those emotions that I just mentioned, and then the importance of now, because we're talking about time. I don't have time now, and I was just told that my time is limited. Woo! Doesn't that just automatically speed you up? It's really rhetorical, but it's I'm saying it as emphasis of wow, you're just like scooped up and taken away. Like a paper, like a plastic bag in the wind. It's like, let's just take you. The imagery that came up while you were talking of having somebody there to slow you down, because you can't do it for yourself. You're all steeped in all the varying emotions that are swirling around. Your mind is going, gotta find an answer, gotta find an answer, gotta do, and your body is like, I don't know if I could trust you anymore. You betrayed me. I mean, all of this happening at the same time, and we're saying, now slow down. And you're like, what the hell? You're I'm supposed to slow down? What?
As you're talking too, like a negative ego is coming to mind, right? Negative ego saying that like, okay, once I do all of these things, then I can rest, then I can settle. And that's not even just a cancer experience thing. That's like everyone's negative ego. Like I need to do, so that way X, Y, and Z can happen. But that's not how it works. There will always be more things that you will find to do. Always. There will always be more things. And the more you force the doing, the more neglected your being gets to be. This reminds me of our last conversation with our Italian tutor, who was telling us, or we were trying to explain, like, how do we say to be instead of doing? And it's so important to actually have that instead of doing to define what we mean by being. And so, even this instance, even in whatever language, being is so hard to explain because it's so neglected in
Mhm.
our lives. There's like this innate assumption that, well, you're alive, right? So you're just being, like, you are who you are, so everything's coming out in being. But it's like, okay, but we also don't always value what we bring and who we naturally are. Even in our trainings, right? Like we tell our coaches, like, you have a gift that's really unique. And we say that what you give is also what you need. And usually the initial response is, I don't know what that is. I don't know what I give. It comes so naturally. And that's why it's the gift that you give and only you can give, because it comes so naturally. It comes as easy as breathing. And so when people are trying to look for the answer and their purpose out there, like, what is it? Someone tell me, give me an answer. It's like, it's not out there, it's in here. And you just haven't slowed down enough to realize the beautiful impact of the person that you are and what you deliver so naturally and innately that you have forgotten that it has value, but other people see it. And it's can be hard because other people aren't always vocalizing it. But if you're like, that interaction felt so good, like, what felt so good about that? and being able to notice those patterns for yourself of what you're putting out there and what the response is to it, or even having the insight to go, what am I missing? What do I really need right now that I'm not getting? It's like it all becomes a message to you, and then you learn more about yourself, and then, oh no, you value yourself more and what you bring, not by what you can accomplish, but by just who you are by existing.
You just took this to a whole different realm, which I absolutely love. That only in slowing down can we really get the preciousness and the bonus and the beauty and the lusciousness of the moment. But in that too is getting that beauty, that lusciousness of us, and that whatever we give out there to really appreciate that impact that you're having. And so it could be the quality of this conversation, or it could be, I always go back to nature because nature just doesn't try to do, it just bees.
Mm-hmm.
It takes its time. It doesn't say, hurry up, I've got to grow my flower. It's like in its time. And there's that I'm going to take this to another place and then we can come back. But there is this whole thing about divine timing, that we rush to get things done thinking that it's urgent, or that's going to get me where I need to go, or that needs to be done right now. But when you're feeling that you're pushing a boulder, or you're putting so much effort into something, that we don't stop to think, is it not the right time? Because
Yeah.
we're not slowing down to really get all of it. So, in the slowing down, let me see if I can net this out. There is so much knowledge, information, wisdom, and dare I say, beauty that we're missing because we're rushing through.
Right. I mean, just on time, right? If we're talking about slowing down, we're talking about time and the fact that sometimes we feel that time is so fragile, or that like we're waiting for that time in the future that this thing's going to happen, for all of my tasks to be done, for cancer to be over, for, you know, whatever it is that you're waiting for. Like, the question of literally what are you waiting for? Like, what is that thing that you want? And then it becomes, once that's defined, it's like, well, what are you waiting for? Right? Like,
Right. Why
it's like,
not now?
right. And so I think the second way of saying that, the like, what are you waiting for? It can feel like so pressurizing. It can feel really like even just hearing it for myself, I feel like almost guarded, I'm like, don't don't force me. What am I waiting for? But if you focus first, again, slowing down, taking time of what that phrase really is, that question, what are you waiting for? And it's about the what, and it's about like, what am I waiting for? That's actually a really, really great coaching question.
The
Like,
best.
right, without the forcefulness, because that's not, I mean, and it's also not the question of want or need. It's just, what are you waiting for? What's out there that you expect to be there that isn't the here now? It not it has nothing to do with like something that you can attain necessarily, but it's like, what is the feeling that you're expecting there? Is it relief? Is it joy? Is it like literally a breath of fresh air? Is it freedom? Like, what is that thing? And then it comes back to, well, what are you waiting for? On the topic of slowing down too, I've been thinking a lot about our trainings, right? And obviously all of this stuff is in our training, which is why we have so much to say about it, because like this is the world that we live in, and it's the language that we speak, and it is the way that we want to live forward in order to be more in alignment with ourselves and actually getting what we want out of life, regardless of timeline. But in our training, we talk about, actually, it's more of the experience versus the curriculum itself, right? I mean, it's all encompassed. It's all part of it.
Intertwined, yes.
Exactly. But the timeline of our big training is 8 months. And that sounds really daunting to a lot of people. A lot of people can't even like see 8 months in the future. There's fear actually surrounding that duration of time. And so there are a lot of coach training programs out there that are super quick. I mean, we also have a 12-week program for ourselves, which is like just the fundamentals. It's called the fundamentals, and it is just some of the tools. I want to say, I forget exactly what the number is, like 10 out of like the 50 something tools and concepts we teach in the big one, because there's only so much you can teach in a given time. And then there are other people's trainings who are just like a weekend here and there. And they're like, you'll be certified, you'll be good to go. After having been through, all of our trainings, I really had to experience it for myself, what we're offering people. You can't. You can't feel secure in one weekend. You need at least a couple with some things along the way to really help you get there, to help you embody what's there. So over the 8 months of our big course, even though it can feel a little bit daunting timeline wise, it's so necessary. And by the time you're at the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I want more time. Like, and we just finished a group, and like, it really does feel that way. Like, I want more time with this. It becomes ingrained in your schedule. It's only a couple hours a week, so it's really not a huge lift in terms of what you're learning, but you get time to slow down with each and every tool. You get to turn it over, investigate it, ask all your questions, try it, get it wrong, try again. And each week you get to do that. And you can add a little bit more with your buddy and talk to the people in your class. Like, there's so much that gets accomplished in that time just by slowing down and learning like a tool each class, because you just can't do it like all in one go. If I delivered all 10 tools of the fundamentals in one weekend, it would be overwhelming. It wouldn't have the same applicability because you wouldn't have tried it and gotten the practice, or even the time to just sit with a concept, right? There are so many tools. They're not all going to be like, okay, got it, done. I know when to use that. It's like sometimes a tool does not resonate and you feel resistance. And so you need to sit with it for a while for it to really have time to be like, I got that. I get that now. There are coaches from the beginning to the end of certification that we see that, like, the beginning, they don't get it at all. You can tell them every single class, remind them about one of the tools that we use, and they're like, yeah, I get it. 3 months later, and they're like, now I get it. And it's not because anyone's slow or dumb or any of that. It's because it needs time to embody with you so that it becomes important and it becomes an instinct, and it just takes time.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, this is just kind of a talk about, in favor of slowing down. And I mean, I'm glad we talked about all the reasons why we don't. And that's just life and part of our being. But when we do, the beauty and the assimilation, it's like, okay, I want to have this experience of connection. But if we're running from thing to thing, or person to person, we're not really getting what we want, the experience of what we want. And if we just slow down and have the connection in this moment, the present moment, which is all we have. My chair keeps swinging around. Slow down, like, just be here in the moment, and invite the experience that I want to have, thinking that if I do this, I'll have that experience. It's like, how can I have that experience right now? I'm so satisfied. I'm so happy. I'm so joyful. It's like, okay. And now, because I've slowed down, I can enjoy it. I can taste that yummy bite. I can, dance with this song that just, brings this memory and this part of me out. It's real, it's present, it's this moment. And it feels like when we're not slowing down, like we're running. Not that that's the opposite, but it's like when I'm slowing down, it means I'm savoring. I'm appreciating. I am being with what's here, even if it's not the greatest thing. But it's like, what can I gain by just being with this? And I promise you, you'll find some beauty, something to be grateful for. That yummy something, the learning. There's always something if we're willing to look, and we can only look if we slow down.
Is that your
It's like a
takeaway?
takeaway. Yes. So Having said that, I just feel my whole being slowing down. And so physically I'm a 4.6, emotionally 4.5, spirit 4.75, hope 4.6. And my word is slow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my takeaway. Oh, my takeaway is that there's just like so much more I want to say, and it's taking a lot of self-management to not. Because slowing down, it's so yummy. Just as you said, it's like it's so juicy and like it actually is also so uncomfortable. Like I'll
Hmm.
not never deny the discomfort that exists in slowing down because we're a culture of ramping up and doing and feeling like our productivity is our value. So I love when you said that when you do slow down, there's always something to get out of it, even though you can't necessarily always see it when you slow down. But to me, slowing down is also it's caring for yourself. It is actually a great act of care to slow down, whether you're analyzing or not. It is a great gift that you can give to yourself to slow down. And it also is a huge sign of trust, right? Like the urgency sometimes around like getting something or like really understanding something, it has nothing to do with the thing itself and everything about the fear that you won't retain it or that you won't remember that it won't have meaning later. Like there's something about like it feels fleeting, and so if you don't like capture it now or you don't do something right now, like it'll be gone forever. And so by slowing down, you actually are giving it more of a moment to sit with it and giving it a moment to absorb into your being. And if it really matters, it will stay. If it doesn't matter, it will go. And if it does matter and you slow down, it didn't stick with you, it sticks with you enough as a concept that you will go seek it out, right? Like a restaurant. You don't have to like go make a reservation right now, but if it's something that you really want to do, you'll remember, you'll go. You'll make it happen. You'll look it up. And so it's an enormous act of trust in yourself to slow down. And it's very much an energy that it's hard to capture sometimes when we're in a world, maybe you're surrounded by people who move really fast. I move fast, I talk really fast, I know that. But when I'm consciously slowing down, we're having conversations like these where I'm reminded to slow down, I get to enjoy every bit of being here, every second of it. And it also is a reminder that when something's happening over here and I can feel distracted over here, I can slow down. I don't have to like talk over it or push it away. It's like, okay, I get to actually be here and take a moment to process like that thing was distracting me. Let's come back. You had your moment. Now I can have mine instead of fighting it so much. Physically, I am a 4.4, emotionally a 4.65, spirit a 4.5, and hope is a 4.4, and my word is softness. Yeah. Oh, a deep breath always feels so good when you're talking about slowing down too. So thank you for being with us. I invite you to take just a little bit of time to figure out what slowing down means to you. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, you're so much more powerful than you realize.